Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. Let me get a few things on the screen. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I was told is the truth is finally coming out. The truth is finally coming out. Do y'all have anything you want to admit? I'm just kidding. I mean, if you want to confess anything to me, you can go ahead and do that. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying you're welcome to if you want. Okay, let's quit playing. Let's quit playing. All right. So I'm getting the cards ready. I don't know what this is going to be about. We're going to find out. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. So really quick, while I'm getting the cards ready, I do have the portal stuff ready. If you want to like take a look at it. There we go. I'm going to be doing a live stream on 12/12. It's going to be a fire ceremony. If you'd like to be part of that, you definitely can. There's the link if you'd like me to do energy work on you. This is a time of the year where let me just stay in my lane and remember what platform I'm on before I start sharing things that, get people all bajiggity with me. I already got YouTube decided to severely restrict my reach again because I told you guys too much information the past couple days. It's all good. It's all good. I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep talking. All right. This is a final deck. Also, for those of you who won a crystal bid, you have been emailed the invoice. If you could please check that out if you haven't already seen it, or if you were waiting for that to come in. It did come in, and it's associated. It was sent to the email that's associated with your PayPal address on file. Let's get started. Okay, patience. There's a truth that's going to be coming out, and it feels like it's something that's going to be very, very intense. Okay. The intensity of this truth is very much, what are you ready to handle? That's a question. But how much are you ready to handle right now? Are you willing to, it's a weird energy right now. Are you willing to see the full gravity of what's going on? Like, these are things that have to do with you personally. It's not just a collective message. Or are you kind of still in a space where you're experiencing some cognitive dissonance? And when you experience cognitive dissonance, it's just you're hearing something difficult. It doesn't mean you're weak or any of that. It doesn't mean that you're not growing. It's that your reality as you know it to be is being challenged. And for some of us, we need a little bit of time to process what we're hearing, right? So, needing to be patient with whatever your process is, allowing yourself to really have the time to stretch yourself out. What I mean by stretching out is really regaining some of that, some of that flexibility, right? That flexible strength, because many of us have become so contracted. We've become so stiff and so drawn into ourselves and the things that we think are the truth or are the reality of what's going on. I think this might also tie into some of us having a hard time with not making up stories. I'm not saying you're a liar. I'm saying, like, if things trigger you, you probably are the type of person that struggles with not making up an entire storyline of how it's your fault. Like, you got to stop that. You have to stop that because it's not making anything better. Blaming yourself is not making anything better. You have to step out of the blame game. You have to. You have to. You don't have a choice in this. You have to step out of the blame game because the cycles that we're entering into as a collective whole, if you're still in that blaming cycle, in that frame of mind where it needs to be someone's fault, you're going to have a very hard time during these cycles that are being initiated. Okay. You're going to have a very, very hard time. So walk your truth in reverse. For many of us, the truth that we're walking is first not a truth, and secondly, not our truth. So those are two bad things. Those are definitely two bad things, and you want to make sure that you're not misinterpreting someone's opinion to truth. There are many people with opinions. I'm a person with opinions. That doesn't mean that it's, an absolute that I'm saying. It's just an opinion, right? So you're going to hear a lot of different things from a lot of different people over the next couple of weeks. And these things that you're hearing, it's going to be a lot of blame game going on. Is this a collective reading? I don't know if this is a collective reading. So there's going to be a lot of blame game going on, and you just got to make sure you continuously walk in a space of grace and gratitude for where you're at and your awareness of yourself. You don't necessarily need to be aware of all of these different things that are going on in society because things are about to implode. So many different spaces, okay? Um, things are definitely about to implode. That's not necessarily a bad thing. If you can prepare yourself to kind of just hear the truth inside you, like allow your feelings to kind of guide your logic, you need both. Logic and emotions need to be very balanced by each other. You can't be one or the other. It can't be all or nothing. Okay. You need both. So, with that, there's not going to be much to celebrate um, as you begin to realize what's going on. It's going to be something that's been very, very hidden, something that's caused a disconnection with, it's like elevated soul connections. Something caused a disconnection, and it's caused a lot of energy to kind of pool in the center. Like all of this stuff that's being hidden from you, probably hidden by you, from you, like your personal power. Um, it's it's a very disruptive type energy that I'm noticing right now. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. So that disconnectedness has affected the self-worth, your sense of self and what you're worth and what you can contribute to any group that's being definitely affected. Your ability to recognize your state of awareness, right? Um, I think for many, this is going to be expressed as like a regression, like you're moving backwards through your journey. It's going to seem as though the progress that you have worked so hard to make over the past few months, maybe even few years, it seems like, it was all for nothing. And maybe Maybe even this sense of, you know, feeling like all of it was BS. I don't think that it was all BS. I think that definitely, um, you're being challenged. I feel like there's a challenging that's happening. Challenged how? Well, it feels like many people are being challenged and caused to question what they actually believe. This is not a bad thing. You know, when you experience periods where you are now questioning what you believe and what you stand for, and you're wondering where you've put all of your focus, this is the perfect opportunity to really take the time to become aware of what you are doing and why. For many of us, we get so caught up in the monotony of trying to achieve something, trying to prove something, that in the middle of all of that, at some point, we forget exactly what it is we're doing and why, right? So a lot of the things that maybe you've moved forward with, you've gotten so caught up in the human aspect of the process that maybe you've forgotten what you're actually trying to accomplish. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to really begin to reconsider once again, what am I trying to do here? What is this really about? For many, you're not going to be moving forward. There's going to be a period of stagnation. That's okay. That's okay. If you're feeling like, Emmy, I've been stagnant for how long already? More stagnation? Well, maybe you started in this cycle a little bit earlier than everyone else. Calm down. Calm down. You're fine. um, let's see. See, you're going to bring things into form, but you can't do this until you're able to see the true you. Again, for many of us, we've gotten to a point where we've been listening to far too many people who speak as though they know what they're talking about. In reality, do they? How do you know that what they're saying is accurate? How do you know that what they're saying is real? How do you know? What are the parameters that you're using? The standards that you use to determine depth or lack thereof of truth that you're being given. All right. How do you know? You don't. You don't, because you probably haven't even taken the time yet to really, really assess, like, what is it I'm trying to do here? Why am I listening to this person? Why, why is what they're saying resonating with me? Like, for many of you, you resonate with the things that I say because these are things that your higher self, your soul, has been trying to communicate with you for quite some time now. And it's very, very difficult for you to um, receive the message as it is. Because for many of us, we don't want to believe that we can actually communicate with our higher selves, right? So yeah, you can communicate with your higher self. Why why spend so much time trying to learn and develop the skill of communicating with your spiritual team, but you've never taken the time, the effort to learn how to cultivate the skill to communicate with your higher self? Why? Why do you consistently go to ancestors, you go to galactics, you go to federations and all kind of different other terms? Why don't you go to yourself first? You guys notice I don't invoke anything um, when I read the cards? You guys notice that? I'm not calling anything in. Michael's always with me because this mofo won't leave me alone. I'm saying, Mikey, I'm saying. You don't, though. You don't. You're there when I shower. Mikey's always there. So why don't I call anything in? Why don't I have to like invoke some type of protection to make sure that the cards are not possessed? And why don't I do that? Because I don't speak to anything outside of myself, right? I don't speak to anything outside of myself. It is my higher self that is using the cards to focus my squirrel ass brain. The ADHD be popping sometimes. So that's the thing. This is what I'm encouraging you to do. You need to begin really, 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 like really making sure that you begin communicating with yourself. Hi, Ryan. Oh, so this right here, Mikey pointed it out. This, he doesn't like you either. He said what he said. Hold on, I'm gonna spit my water out. I'm gonna spit my water out. Give me a second. Give me a second. Hmm. Mm. Uh, so okay. So I just hold up. I gotta put my hood on. I gotta just wear my hood for a second. Oof. Okay. Here goes. Seeing the true you, right? For many of us, we don't actually see who we are and the way we behave. I'm quoting Michael right now. For many of us, we don't see who we really are and the way we behave and the way our behavior is received by other people. For many, we wear this mask that's projected out into the environment because we want to protect ourselves because of the fact that we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust ourselves to be acceptable as we are. And so we try and create this, you know, preconceived identity that we use as a caricature of aspects of ourselves. And, you know, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know that it's either. I feel like it can be both at any given time. And I feel like we have to be aware of the type of masks that we wear in front of other people to impress people, to gain some type of attention, to make it seem as though um, we are something that we're not. It's important. It's important for us to allow our most authentic aspects to be what is experienced by others. It's very, very important. So, card number 3, inspiration, allowing ourselves to be inspired by the sting of life, right? Because sometimes life stings. Sometimes the things that we get ourselves into, it stings and it becomes this experience that is unnecessarily painful, you know? Unnecessarily painful. And sometimes when you experience that pain, it's not just because you've been offended, it's because you're beginning to realize the effects that you have on the environment and something needs to be adjusted, right? I mean, I don't know how often you guys spend time kind of regulating yourself. I spend time daily, where I look at some of the things, well, I look back, I think of some of the things that I've said or done earlier in the day, and I kind of just ask myself, was that necessary? Is that, am I operating at the highest degree of responsibility and care? the highest degree of grace for self and sometimes grace for others, right? So we have to make sure that we're aware that, you know, the things we're saying and doing is being received in the way that we intend. And if it's not being received in the way that we intend, it's not because the other people don't get you. It's because you need to work harder to create a more clear and concise communication, right? So that's kind of something to consider. This is going to be a period where there's going to be a lot of miscommunication, a lot of assumptions, a lot of people taking things in a way that you don't intend. So we need to be very, very, very careful about what we communicate and the way we communicate it. Michael says, not everyone has your sour humor. Bitch, I like sourdough. Are you talking to me? Is my humor sour? Sometimes. I mean, yeah. But I mean, was I sour now? Was I sour right now? He says no. Okay. Whatever. Card number 22, she feels, she knows. So there is something headed your way. This is some type of event. Emotional cataclysm. That doesn't sound good. Okay, hold on. I know what cataclysm means. Okay. Emotional cataclysm. Okay, so cataclysm means a large scale and violent event in the natural world, a sudden violent upheaval, especially in a political or social context. Oh, shit. Okay. Early 17th century, originally denoting the biblical flood described in Genesis, from French cataclysme, via Latin from Greek cataclysmos, deluge, from kata, down, clusian, to wash, a deluge. Shit, shit. Okay, okay. The world really just needs to calm the fuck down, is what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. It needs to just calm down. It needs to just calm down. All of these, So this is a casual reading for Pisces and empaths. I refuse to allow this to become a Blu-ray update and collective reading. That's enough. I would like to have a casual day today. Okay? I would like to have a casual day today. So she feels, she knows there's things, there are things that each of us can feel is approaching each of us independently, individually, as well as something approaching collectively. So we're just going to kind of acknowledge that awareness and carry forward. Focus on the light. So it's in reverse. There is something, a type of energy that's serving as the impetus for us to hyperfixate on the darkness. Now, I'm not personally afraid of the darkness or the shadow. I have a very specific type of perception about it. Um, but the thing is that most people do have a fear of the shadow and the darkness. You have to release that fear. Okay. You have to release that fear. If you're going to allow yourself to enter into a space of thriving, you have to let go of the very things you've used to strictly only survive. Okay. Fear has been what has been used to help you to survive, strictly only surviving. I don't care at this point about the aspect of surviving. That is a given component of thriving. When you exist in a space of thriving by virtue of your desire and your focus on thriving, you've already covered the surviving part, right? I look back at every aspect of my life and it's this sense of like, I am not even going to go over how much I've survived in life already. Like, I survive everything in life. So, who cares? Who cares? I'm now using my energy and my focus on thriving, on continuing to try and reach higher and higher, as well as simultaneously deeper and deeper spaces of finding myself and my truth and my purpose. I'm no longer concerning myself with all of these other external factors that really, can I control those factors? No. Do those factors affect the outcome? Potentially, yes, but they will not affect the outcome to the degree that it will control the outcome if I am the dominant creator in that circumstance. So, case in point, someone doesn't like me, they want to try and take me offline. That's fine. You want to go out of your way to try and this and try and that, and oh, you want to take my account down? I don't give a shit. I will fucking open another account. I don't give a shit what you want. If I'm not hurting someone else, you have no right to try and convince me that I need to shut up and disappear. How about fuck you? Yeah, I said it. What now? Not a damn thing now. You see how that works? You see how that works? I am so glad I'm finally pushing mid 40s because I'm just too fucking old to give a shit about other people's preferences that they try and impress upon me. You prefer this and prefer that. Where the fuck you think you is? This not a restaurant. I'm gonna cook shit the way you want. I don't think so. Pick someone else who'd cook for you, bitch. Please. Mm, mm-mm. It's like going to a Chinese restaurant and then demanding that they go ahead and make you some teriyaki beef. Bitch, you got the wrong Asian. That's not even the same country. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You got to stop bending over backwards for people who are only interested in seeing how far they can pretzel you. You got to let go of those standards that you've used to allow yourself to continue to be oppressed and victimized by the people who were never powerful enough to do it without your consent. Let that sink in. These people who want to tell you that that they're powerful and they can dominate you, they need you to agree and to consent to that state of domination. They need you to consent. Excuse me. I'm of the mindset like you need me to comply and consent or you're going to beat me. Go ahead. Beat me. I don't care. I'm so serious. Go ahead. I'm still not going to comply. Oh, but I got to beat you. Yeah, but you also expended all your energy. Mhm. I don't care. You can beat the body, but you could never beat the soul. Still won't comply. I still won't do what you demand I do. Go ahead and have a tantrum. Let everyone see it. That's your issue. That's not mine. There's nothing I need to do that I do not resonate with. I don't have to give anyone any type of authority over me that I don't want them to have. I've had situations where there have been, like, for example, I was starting with a legal situation. This person had violated a contract, and there is an implication in that contract of exclusive right to quiet enjoyment, right? It's a real estate contract. Exclusive right to quiet enjoyment of a property. They violated that every single time they enter the property without my consent, without um, proper advance notice, all of that, right? And basically, they were trying to get their lawyer to, in my opinion, bully me. And you know what I said? And what happens if I don't agree? Well, well, then it continues. Okay, and then what? What's the worst case scenario? Well, the worst case scenario is they could take you to small claims court. Okay, what happens in claims court if they don't have the proper documentation to validate their claims? Well, no, they need proper documentation. I knew they were lying. So then what happens if they don't have it? Well, then they wouldn't win the case. Okay, tell your client to sue me. Here's the address to go ahead and send all of the documentation to. If your client sues me, I will countersue. I have everything documented. So you're not going to agree to? No, no, I'm not. Well, then we can't send you to deposit. According to civil codes that I'm invoking, you have no right if there's no damage. That's a security deposit. That's not a punishment deposit. You don't get to keep that to punish me. So that's more evidence of the bullying and the abuse I've been sustaining from your client. So what's going to happen if I don't agree? Because I tell you right now, you can go ahead and break all my fingers. I still won't sign that contract. I tell you right now, I like pain. I'm saying. So what happens? Nothing. These people who are trying to convince you that you have to agree to allow them to have dominion over you, they need your consent. And if you don't consent, they were going to do whatever they were going to do anyways. But now it's much harder for them to do it. Now you have your power. Now you have your authority. Now it is clear you are not giving permission for the treatment you are receiving. And you know, all of those threats, I still got my full deposit back. Just saying. Just saying. People will try and intimidate you because they think they know more than you. You know how you level a playing field? You don't need lawyers unless lawyers are already involved. Then, yeah, you should absolutely get a lawyer. You know how you level a playing field, though? You learn. You don't take what other people say as the absolute truth. You learn. You allow yourself to spend the time, invest the effort into learning the things you need to learn in order to be able to speak your truth and not be dominated. This right here. This right here. Yeah. Pisceans and empaths, we have this air of energy around us that causes people to feel extremely comfortable around us because we've learned to be accommodating towards that type of energy. That's how you became an empath to begin with. You were exposed to that type of maltreatment as a child, as a young adult. how you developed your empathy. Yep. And because you've learned to fawn as part of your attempt to prevent situations from escalating into a full-on confrontation or whatever, they now think that you are a doormat. See, I'm very sweet in real life until you give me a reason not to be. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. My mother was a Pisces as well. She's also very ridiculously sweet. But here's the thing. I'm only half my mother. The other half is my father. I'm just saying. The other half is my father. Don't ever invite that half of me out. Don't ever bang on the door demanding that other half of me come out, because I promise you, it will find a way to beat you from every angle. And by the time I've already assessed every single possible situation arising from that one decision to engage. And I've determined I will win every single one. See, I'm a perfectionist on top of all my other issues. I won't attempt something unless I know I can excel. This is about you guys using all of these different pathologies, these different labels that have been affixed on you as a strength, not as further evidence of how weak and broken you are. I got ADHD. Yeah, that helps me to hyperfixate. Could you imagine how many freaking legal cases I went through to find the perfect civil code to invoke in that situation? Because of the civil code I invoked in the state of California, there can be absolutely be no legal blowback on me. None. You cannot sue me. That is evidence of further abuse. I'm saying you're the reason that I moved. Criminal stalking is a form of domestic abuse. You see, I don't just look up civil code. I look up the definition of the words that are included in the verbiage of that legal code. Does this apply to me? What am I categorized as? How can I make this apply to me in a legal way? You have to be smart about the way you engage every single situation in your life. You have to be very, very intentional in the way you engage all of these people who want nothing but the worst for you. Did I have to do anything else? No. Once I decided I was going to not take any more of that BS, that was that. I will no longer respond to anything. I will spend all of my time, my energy, and my focus on ensuring every single avenue that you could possibly try and consider. It will not work. You will not win. Allow all of these aspects of yourself that you once thought was a pathology, a disease, evidence of your brokenness, to be the very thing that protects you. I'm saying. I learned this years ago. I will no longer ever shame myself for being the way that I am. You think I should shame myself for being chaotic inside me and outside of me? No. You never know what I'm going to do. It's very, very hard to form a plan of attack if you don't know what the person is going to do. I'm so good at harnessing my chaos and all my other pathologies, alleged pathologies, that for a real estate contract dispute, the person hired a fucking liability defense lawyer. Liability defense? Boo. What are you defending from? What do you need to defend if there's no legalities that you are guilty of breaking? I'm just saying. I got you by your tiny little huevos. Your little huevos. You know exactly what you did. I knew what you did. And you thought because I'm Piscean like your wife, and small like your wife, and Filipina like your wife. Bitch, she lays down for you. I won't. You got me fucking twisted, boo. You got that shit twisted. Let me tell you, all these people who think Asian women are supposed to be docile. You're gonna learn one day. You're gonna learn one day. We're not all docile. This one ain't. I'm not docile. I'm really good at playing the role of docile sometimes. It's a caricature. It's an aspect of me that's not dominant, but I amplify it just to make sure that the people around me feel very comfortable around me because I understand just how dominant my energy is. It's not me being fake, it's me being considerate. A lot of people, when they feel the gravity of my energy, when I don't mask it, they get scared of me. I don't like the feeling of people being scared of me. So it's me being considerate, not fake. And that's the thing. You guys have to stop hiding these aspects of yourself that cause people to think that they can get away with the things they're trying to get away with. I take ownership of that. I assess that situation all the way through, top to bottom, left to right, inside to out, outside to in. And I realize the way in which I helped to co create that ugly situation was because I was too accommodating. I was too accommodating. I should have allowed my strength to be felt right from the start, right? Right from the start. I should have allowed that to be felt, not in a domineering way, but in a way where it's like, hi, no, I don't want to sign this contract in the way you're telling me to. I'm going to need you to fill out the entire contract before I sign. Like legalities, you can't sign a contract that's left blank and then the person come back after you've signed and fill in the information by hand. That voids the contract. I did not agree to anything that was added after the fact. After the fact, if you're going to add in there that I need to ask your permission and introduce you to every single guest who will come over for dinner or what have you before they're allowed into the property because your name is on the title, that's bull fucking shit. I don't need your permission to have a barbecue grill in the backyard placed in a safe manner. That is bull fucking shit. Some people will totally take advantage of the fact that they think you're nice. Did I need to argue there? No. I just needed to be very firm in my stance of I'm actually not comfortable signing a blank contract. I'm going to need you to fill this out. And I'm going to need 24 hours to look over this contract and ensure that I agree to all of the terms. And I will not sign until every single term is in agreement with what I will agree to, as well as California laws. Right? Because then that would have told them right then and there, oh, okay, I can't play this game with this one. Right? So we have to make sure that we sometimes will need to allow ourselves to go beyond normal in order to really, really make clear who we are and the strength that we carry inside ourselves. And if we don't, I'm not saying that it's going to be your fault if things go ugly. At no point was anything that was done to me and my family in that property my fault. I did not deserve that. I did not initiate that. I did not do anything to cause that outside of allowing it to continue. And because I allowed it to continue, it began to escalate and escalate and escalate, right? Sometimes it's your silence, your lack of response that emboldens people who were only halfway committed to creating problems for you, right? Another situation, I've shared this before. We were in Boulder, Colorado, and we got into a heated exchange with this lady, and she was getting real loud with my husband. She hit our car while we were parked. She was parking her vehicle. She hit us while we were parked. The engine was not on. And then she thought it was all good. Like, that's not all good. That's not all good. So my husband went out to go check the damage, and she starts yelling at him. And I got out of the car too, because I don't want him to get all like bajiggity. And I was like, "It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just let her be a bitch. Like, who gives a shit? Like, our kids are in the car. We're not hurt. So we'll just take her license plate, and she's not going to give us her driver's license. It's a hit and run. That's a hit and run. You don't give us your insurance information and your identification. That's a hit and run." Right. And so she came running back screaming, at which point I just looked at my husband, smiled, and very casually stated, "I'm going to jail today, aren't I?" Yeah. And because I did that, and then I looked at her and I was just like, she then stopped in her tracks. Now, I didn't have to threaten her. I didn't have to do anything. But you best believe if you swing your bag at me, lady, the entirety of Oakland will come out of me. I'm just saying, honey boo boo, I'm from the hood. Don't mistake my size and my gentle demeanor for something it's not. I'm from the fucking hood. Okay? We from the hood. I tell you, y'all familiar with Arizona? We also lived in Maryvale. Okay, that's like the Compton of Arizona. It was all good. I loved it. The old people would sit on their lawns and just people watch. I loved it. I thought it was peaceful. I'm saying, don't play with things you don't understand just because I conduct myself in a way that causes you to think that I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I will use that spoon. I will dig your eyeballs out. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Right? See, so she knows Maryvale. I'm saying. I'm saying. See, she be knowing. She be knowing. So, faith in the process in reverse. It's time for you to exit out of that space of faith and enter into a space of gnosis, a knowing of what you need to do, right? And sometimes that knowing doesn't come to you until after you've considered everything that needs to be considered. If you smack someone's hand with a metal spoon, that will cause tremendous inflammation. It can injure them severely. I remember one time I was doing something in the kitchen. I was like in my teens, and I had like a large metal serving spoon, right? And then one of my toxic sibling has this habit of like touching people's food, like just getting a little pinch out of it. Like, you don't wash your hands, nasty ass. And so I saw him reaching for my food, and I thwack on the back of his hand. And he was like, "Oh my God, why would you do that?" And like, because bastard, you don't wash your hands. Don't touch my fucking food. I can scoop some out and like lay it on the counter for you to pick at. You don't touch my food with your filthy ass hands. And so that's why I thwacked him. And then like later that day, his whole hand looked like a Cabbage Patch Kid hand. I was like, what happened to your hand? He's like, oh, I don't know. Maybe like a bug bite. Sure. Sure. You best believe he didn't touch my shit again. His shit looked like a Cabbage Patch Kid. It was swollen up halfway through his fingers. It was swollen. I don't feel bad. Someone's like, "Did you feel bad?" No, I didn't feel bad. You kidding me? No. Grown ass guy trying to steal his little sister's food? I don't think so. I don't think so. And anyone who knows me knows I will give my food to people even if I'm hungry. I don't care. I will share. But you're not going to use your filthy hands to like touch my food. I don't think so. That's not how it works. So card number 24, new birth guarded vigilantly. Oh, shit. I love you, Maria. I love you, Maria. Oh, shoot. That made me so hot. I gotta take my jacket off. Oh Lord. I gotta take it off all the way. I'm totally sweating now. Oh, that got me super hot. All right. So here we go. New birth guarded vigilantly. So as you grow, as you become more of who you are, excuse me, it's going to feel very uncomfortable and it's going to be very odd for the people who are in your environment. These people who have become so accustomed to getting their way with you, to like being able to get away with whatever they want to do to you or to your things, not having any type of opposition to their behaviors, they're totally, totally, totally going to not appreciate that you're changing. Don't listen to them. They'll accuse you of having changed. They'll accuse you of being an issue. Why are you being difficult? Why are you this? Why are you that? Yeah. No, that same sibling would say those kind of things like, why are you being difficult? Because of you? Because you. What do you mean because of me? Because you're toxic. It's because you're toxic. That's why I'm being difficult. Because of you. I mean, you didn't know? You seriously, you didn't know? Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that I would say. Like you're joking, right? You knew. It's because of you. You're toxic. They will try and convince you that your behavior, because it's now hard to control, that you're somehow intolerable. Like, oh God, you're so inconvenient. Go away then. They can just go away, is what it is. They can. I'm serious. They can just go away. So there's nothing that's going to be redirected. The betrayal is coming from you if you're allowing these people, whoever it is, because it feels like there's someone that's going to be attempting to get away with something with you, right? They're going to attempt to basically gaslight you into a space of compliance. So be careful with that. Don't betray yourself by remaining silent. Don't betray yourself by allowing someone to convince you that you are somehow in the wrong for speaking up. Okay? So, fire cleanser in reverse. You have to make sure. So, I've shared in the past that that oftentimes people think that they can use fire as a cleanser, but in reality, you can't always use fire as a cleanser or as a regulator, because if you don't know what you're doing, you could keep that portal completely dilated. It'll be stuck that way. So you have to make sure, and fire can represent passion, right? You have to make sure that you are aware of the ways in which your passion is either being used against you, or you are using your passion in an irresponsible manner. So don't do that, okay? Um so the fire cleanser. Yeah, parasitic. It's going to be fine. Just pour some coconut oil on it. I don't know. It's going to be fine. They need to they need to be pushed out and left out. Um yeah, that's very solid. That they need to be pushed out and left out. Just pushed out and left out. All right. So this has to do with some parasitic stuff that happened a very long time. This is a restarting of an old cycle. Um, Again, I wanted this to be a casual reading, not a collective whole intense, very, very intense information thing. Hmm. So this is going to trickle down into your day to day, into your everyday, day to day thing. Um, it has to do with Sophia energy. You see, there's a face right here, right? Where is it? Right here. See the face, and then the hand with a heart in it. And then there's another face trying to insert whatever this fakery is over here. So these two. It's a message of like elevations and potential, and then you got a person right here who's like doing jumping jacks trying to get your attention. This is you. There's a fight that's going on over your consciousness, you holding your personal power, almost like afraid and melancholy about the breaking of the confinement of your personal power. And then of course there's those who are trying to distract you, to get you to go through the brambles, to go through the thorns, so that you'll get ensnared. These are old cycles coming full circle. They're coming all the way back around. They're coming all the way back around. So receiving sigil, even if they come all the way back around, there's still a space for you to exit, for you to back up. That's almost fishy, right? There's a space for you to back up and really just regain control over your trajectory. Let's see. Yeah. So the soul journey, card number 28. You're on this journey right now that's taking you closer and closer to this space of receiving the second sun consciousness, right? This right here, it's kind of like, what is that? Is that Datura? Hold on. Datura. Yerba Diablo. Let's see. Okay. It's a moonflower. Used for opening spiritual pathways. And yeah, please don't play with Datura. This shit's toxic. You can die. I don't want the hallucinogenic properties. I want, um, okay, meaning. The Zuni. Okay. To create and break hexes to protect from evil and even as a sleep and dream aid. Okay. Chumash. It's pain killing. Yeah, it could shut down your organs too. Okay. It can symbolize surrendering and getting rid of all the bitterness, negatives, toxicities like hate, jealousy, and anger. It helps to remove poison, envy, and rivalry. So I'm wondering if this right here, this state that we sit in as our magic is rebirth and we're kind of like left stagnant, is because there have been so many people through our earlier life who have witnessed the gravity of us, right? The gravity of what we can do, what we represent, what our purpose might potentially be in this life. And it's caused them to feel so insecure in themselves that it's kind of programmed us to feel like we have to apologize whenever someone sees the greatness that we are, whenever someone becomes aware of the gravity of who we are and what we can do. I mean, I've had that for so many people where I've been made to feel like I need to apologize for existing, like it's offensive to be the magical motherfucker that I am. I'm not sorry anymore. Magical AF. If you don't like it, too bad. So that's the thing, is like we're being brought on a journey to exit out of that, but unless we make it a point to focus and aim for that second sun consciousness, double diamond sun has a capacity, I believe, to activate up to 24 strands of DNA. See, here's the thing. The next card, Abundant Sigil, it's in reverse. There are not very many emerald suns that are here. There are not very many, but even that, do you know how potent that energy is? It carries the capacity to activate 48. I mean, just one of those is equivalent to an entire solar sun, entire repository of consciousness of billions upon billions of individuated identities. So the truth is finally coming out. Huh. How does this all play together, though? This all comes together in some way. What is that? Hibiscus? Hold on. I think it's like has to do with love, or let's see. Elegant female beauty, youth, and positivity, softness, femininity, divine feminine. So it's important to note that it's healthy for both men and women to embrace balanced male and female energy. Female power includes the ability to create and nurture life. It symbolizes passion and love, bringing more beauty, love, and romance into your life. It has to do with passion. Okay, so there's a secondary message here that I'm missing. So, what kind of supports you is all of that, like that hibiscus essence, and around your crown is the datura. What is the second message? So, journey. You can back out. So you have 3 fiery essences using unregulated passion. Hibiscus has to do with passion, but there's a betrayal that occurred. Unregulated passion, a betrayal. There's something to do with the datura. Datura treatment was found to cause an increase in the activity of brain lipid paradoxase and catalase, while it caused a decrease in the activity of fructose diphosphate aldolase and glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme. Marked reduction was noted in the protein, DNA, and RNA contents of the Torah. So it goes into the DNA and RNA and all of those enzymes. Hold on, guys. There's a complex message. The Torah on my elimination. It could potentially produce a demyelinating neuropathy and can sometimes produce a sensory, sometimes painful neuropathy. Let's see. Demyelinating neuropathy. They're trying to use the passion to prevent the brain from the synaptic fires. Those synaptic fires, if it doesn't jump that space and transfer to the next cell and then continue on until it gets to where the brain is trying to communicate to, that will end up pooling somewhere. Where would it pool? It would accumulate in the fascia. And as it oh, oh, The fascia is the connector. It's the bridge between the physical body and the etheric one. The fascia is where the chakras anchor into and helps to communicate, activate, and send the appropriate charge to your DNA, because different centers, chakra centers, are responsible for different biological as well as psychological functions. If you affect that communication, you can accelerate the development of things that would affect apoptosis, which is the natural regulator. It's the cell death program. So if you do that, you then begin to experience uncontrolled growth, which is cancerous. It could also be something that will prevent you from properly communicating with your higher self. You won't be receiving the information. So you do that to the entire body. It causes widespread inflammation because the body will go ahead and register that as a widespread systemic wound. You will then begin to experience systemic inflammation. Systemic inflammation then leads to accumulation of all sorts of energetic pockets. And when you do that, that facilitates the feed. What are they feeding is what I want to know. They're preparing to feed. So many different principalities. Hold on. Demonic principality with PISCES. You guys, look at this shit. I got to share this with y'all. Bitches, I'm going to find this information. This is what they showed me when I asked what I asked. Keep fishing. Fuck you. Wow. They want me to keep fishing. Okay. Let's talk about Antarctica. I'm saying. We're just going to carry forward because I got to get going. The demon horrors are going to be they're going to be out in full effect. Okay. They're going to be out in full effect. It's going to be this thing of people who are very like just yuck, just very, very yuck. They will go ahead and manage to come back. They will try their best. Okay. I kind of just want to put this out there. I'm speaking to a specific person, but I'm not going to single you out in the comments. Okay. Um, it's like 3 or 4 accounts now that have been banned that you have created. I don't want to interact with you. I'm just going to be outright. I don't want to interact with you. I've already explained this to you in email as well. I'm not too sure why you don't quite grasp that. But for you to continue to come back, despite all of the accounts being banned, is very disrespectful of my sovereign space and my free will. So I want to be clear. I'm going to ban you again right now, but I will be clear. Okay. So carrying forward, card number 52, Twin Ray Healing, and then card number 2, Warrior Spirit. So this right here is something that the friction that occurred kind of increased the charge for this pairing. That is going to be used for something very constructive very, very soon. I don't know that it will be something that will result in you communicating with someone. I don't think that it would. I'm not sure though. Um, but that's definitely some type of tension and friction that's been allowed to continue to accumulate. And then something is going to be harvesting that energy, something benevolent, something good is going to harvest that energy. I think to purge the planetary grid, purge it of whatever malignancies that are trying to facilitate their feed. They're trying to have a feast off of your energy. And I tell you right now, I'm not down for that. I don't like that. Oh no. Okay. So, yeah, no, 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 no. This is exactly what I'm trying to say, Maria. The empaths, we have a tendency to have a more porous auric shield. And because of the porosity of your auric shield, it's a lot easier to access you. You got to do work to really, really make sure that your shielding is solid and you're not allowing too much in or too much out. All right. So I just hold on really quick. Um There is information on Saturn and the black cube. I will leave it up to you guys if you want to dive into that rabbit hole. It's not going to be good information. So if that's something that makes you curious, I gave you the terms if you want to look into that. I don't encourage you to look into that, but Saturn's returning. Saturn return age. They always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. Ooh. Saturn as a lord of karma shatters all illusions. So the illusion is that karma is punishment. Karma is not punishment, it is a miasma. Miasma is frozen light code. Frozen light code is nothing but a paused lesson, paused learning opportunity. So this is a lifetime where we are being reintroduced to people that we've lived lifetimes with before. And it's not that we're being reintroduced to people we've lived with lifetimes with before so that we can get in romantic relationships with them. No, it's so that you can finish off that lesson because we're about to graduate from whatever this is, right? Um, Saturn return occurs around age 60 when you become aware of your own mortality. So 6 is the number of receiving, it's the lesser cup of creation. And 0 is a point of origination, right? 100% at 106. Interesting. A singularity coming from the point of origination that feeds into the cup of receiving. You may become keenly aware that you may not have enough time left to achieve your goals. You will always have enough time, just enough time to achieve the purpose you came into this life to do. Okay? Don't worry about that. You will achieve it, and you cannot go until you're done doing that purpose. Often there is a paring away of what's not essential, but for those who have not acted wisely, this will be a difficult transition. So, acting wisely, acting responsibly with your energy, your abilities, responsibly choosing who you will allow and not allow into your field, into your energy. You guys just witnessed me do that a few minutes ago, right? Once I have decided you are toxic for me and my space, you must respect that. I will not at some point then be like, okay, I'm not mad anymore. I don't do that because I'm mad. I've determined you are toxic to me, toxic for me. You maybe aggravate me. Maybe you're disruptive. Maybe you derail my personal peace and the progression within that peace. Who knows? Whatever the hell the reason is, once you are determined to be toxic to me, you are not allowed to share space with me. And that's that. Because I don't just randomly like, oh, you're toxic. Oh, you're toxic. No, I'm over here like, oh my God, what's wrong? And then a year, 2 years later, I'm like, okay, I've had enough. You do the same toxic shit over and over and over. I don't want anything to do with that anymore. It is not my job to save you from who you are. That is you. That is your responsibility. Now I must carry forward so my energy can go back towards what I'm supposed to do for me in my life. Okay. So we have to be very, very, very aware of what we are even giving passive permission for. Right. This was not the right live stream to come on when I was just talking about not being very clear from the inception of that event is what will allow for the event to continue to escalate into something very undesirable. So that's what you guys witnessed me do. Just right there. You witnessed me let a specific individual know, like, you have already been told, right? Okay. So, when this card is drawn, it will feel as if nothing goes right for you and you may feel very discouraged. Just as it seems things are progressing, there are obstacles. That's okay. What this truly is Saturn showing you a part of your life that may not have been based upon anything real. It may have outlived its purpose, or perhaps you've misjudged a situation thinking it better than it was, right? Pisces and empaths, stop making excuses. Stop making excuses for people. I used to go to church where this priest would sing everything, and like he was a horrible singer. But it was just very fascinating how he would sing everything. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. And I would just be like, like I can't pray with you like this, sir. I can't. I can't do it. I need like it needs to be spoken, not sung for me. It throws me off. My intention gets very rattled. because he wouldn't sing it the same way every single time. I went to so many of his masses and he would sing it differently every single time. Like, motherfucker, you throwing me off. You just throwing me off is what it is. Okay. All right. So let's see. Ooh, Saturn returns are all about correction. Saturn corrects any area which isn't based on reality. You guys, I'm going to be having a 1212 portal correction event. That's going to be on 1210. So the correction event is a private fire ceremony. It's not going to be broadcast on any of my social media platforms. Mm-mm. If you want to be a part of that, you have to go to emmyevolving.com and you have to look for the 1212 primer. Okay. But I will be having a 1212 portal event that will be on all my social medias. So let's see. This card is pointing something out to you that may not have been genuine in the first place and that should probably be let go. I'm saying. Whatever is shaking your life won't last and probably isn't meant to. If this card is drawn, you will not be given a pass, and the matter in question will not progress as easily as you might want it to. But more positively, this marks a time when things are solidified. So the change that's going to be occurring and that's going to be very beneficial for you in your life is going to be very, very positive and it's going to be solidified. But that positivity might require some negativity and inconvenience for you to be able to reach that point of positivity. Okay. So we have to exit out of this mindset that positive things can only be achieved through positive means. Sometimes the positive things are achieved after, we've gone through the very negative. Okay. So card number 15, Gemini. Y'all Geminis be too much sometimes, but I love y'all. Y'all are my favorites. Favorites, you motherfuckers. I love Geminis. I do. I really genuinely do. My husband's a Gemini. I'm saying he's a Gemini. Okay. So, card number 15, Gemini. I think no one is free. Even the birds are chained to the sky. Communication is key. Be versatile and quick at this time. You must also be mindful because people are talking. Let them talk. Let them talk. Okay, let's see. This twin sign is one of the smartest in the entire zodiac. However, Geminis tend to be insecure in their views, so change their opinions often. Geminis are not patient. You guys, let me just go to the list of things. People be talking too much shit about Gemini. I'm telling you, Gemini are freaking hilarious when they don't like you. They are experts at shit talking, and I'm gonna be honest, I find their shit talking hilarious most days. Sometimes it's a little too much for me. I can only handle so much of that. But when I'm in the mood to hear it, it's hilarious. Hilarious. So the card in brief, the mind and the brain, being of two minds, fluency, deafness, being clever while a little superficial, double talk, talking too much, giving out too much information, publishing, left-handedness. Don't publish onto social media some of your plans, okay? You guys, let me give you a little tidbit of information. If I were you, I would absolutely not have my face on anything publicly visible or my government name. I would not use my name. as my profile name on any type of social media, and I would absolutely make my social media private. You guys notice I don't post pictures of my children, neither does my husband. Um, there's some stuff going on, and it's kind of just a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. So, you know, I don't know who needs to hear that, but I definitely, if you resonate with that, I would definitely stop doing that. I would change my screen name and not have my legal name as my profile. I would not put my face as the profile picture. I would make sure, like even my Facebook profile, I have a shit ton of people added on there, but my posts are not public posts. They're not public posts because no. And I tend to not post anything personal on my business page. Okay. Um, um, I mean, you could just have your first name, but go with what you feel is appropriate for you. Go with what you feel is appropriate for you. There's something going on in the aethers. I don't know what it is, but it's something that's making me feel like that is just some information maybe some of you need to know. Okay. Just make sure that you have some discernment as you decide what is appropriate to share or not share on your social media. Um, all right. Card number 22, Capricorn, I use time the corrector when our judgments err. Okay. It's time to focus on your objectives and not let up. Ruled by Saturn, the planet of hard luck, the sign of Capricorn is personified by the goat that climbs the steepest cliffs to gain worldly success. Capricorn is a resourceful sign, and those under its influence long for power and prestige, right? There's no more there is no one more ambitious than a Capricorn. They really do want to take the world by the horns. There are more spiritual goats, of course, but the aim of most Capricorns is fundamentally practical in nature. With them, there are no careless wanderings into fairyland. Okay, let's see. Ooh, I like this. When the Capricorn card turns up in a reading, it denotes a time of diligence and hard work. There is a gaining in status and reputation. Whatever you've toiled over and especially sacrificed for, you are ready for splendid results to be revealed. So, you guys, the things that you're working for, it's about to come to fruition. Do not give up now. The truth is coming out about people's intentions with helping you, or if they were really just around to try and derail your progress. The truth is coming out. Keep in mind, this gain may be slow and systematic, but that you are heading towards something solid and lasting. You are about to meet all the right people who will back you and your goals. Know what I'm saying? Some may be greater in status than you, but they will show you the ropes or support you in some substantial way. By all means, do not lose them. Capricorn is a sign of drive and ambition. Therefore, you may feel more driven than usual. In essence, this card is saying to put childish things away and take responsibility, which is what this entire reading has been about. It's about taking responsibility. It's about no longer allowing inconsequential, childish, petty, disrespectful type things to take your attention, right? If you're going to have to keep paying attention to something, that means you're going to have to do something about that to negate it, to fully remove it, right? So, you know, Eric, are you a Scorpio? All the songs you're telling me to listen to, you must be a Scorpio. Are you a Scorpio? Scorpio sun, moon, rising? Scorpio in your Venus? You got Scorpio somewhere? I bet you have Scorpio somewhere. Do other signs do that where they communicate something using songs? All the people that I know, the only ones that do that are Scorpios. But I want to know if other signs do that. And I want to make sure you know I'm not talking shit. It popped in my head and came out my mouth. So I went with it. I went with it. Really though, are there any other signs that do that? Like I'll listen to music and I will relate to the lyrics, but I don't. Do you do that a lot? What you got in your chart? Village babies depends on if I like you. Well, maybe that's it. Maybe that's why I don't like send people songs and stuff. I don't know. So it's not just a Scorpio thing. Okay. I stand corrected then. I stand corrected. Thank you for that. So, okay. The ones who say they do that they have a song for everyone and everything, right? Do you have any Scorpio in your chart? Ah, if it comes as a message for Billy, she'll share it. Yeah, I'm more like that. Like if I'm really, really encouraged by soul to share the song with someone specific, then I'll share it. But for the most part, I kind of just don't. I'm super curious. I don't know much about zodiac signs. That's why I asked you guys. And I was laughing more at myself because it's like, girl, you just blurt shit out, don't you? Yes, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, so that final card, let's see. Okay. Beware of looking back and staying in the shadows. Go for what you want in a systematic way. It's time to unleash your talents upon the world. Do not let up. Go out on a. If your question is to do with romance or relationships, then these may take on more serious tones. Matters should grow deeper and more committed. It could be that one partner is older, higher in social rank, or will be a guide or teacher to the other. It may also mean one is more serious than the other. So there's a lot of stuff going on that that really is going to help to ensure your growth, right? So we got that. We got that. La 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 la. Okay, one final card. All right. Marlene says, do you mind if I pick again? Sure. You can pick. Okay. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why do you look nervous? 5, 6. Okay, so this card or the card behind it? This card. Okay. All right, card number 7. Here we go. Dakshina. Fear can undermine your confidence, erode your trust, and steal away the joy that you take in living. The benign yet mighty Dakshina Kali manifests to conquer fear and realign your mind and path towards peace and light. Make a sincere offering from your heart to her now, and you will receive her generous blessings and assistance. Open your heart with trust, for that which is blessed and beautiful wants to manifest in your life. Mm, 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 mm. Dakshina Kali conquers even the most extreme fears. She steps forward with her right foot, a sign that she will create order from chaos. Her four arms are raised to bestow blessings and to wield the divine weaponry necessary to protect the soul. She restores and realigns, deftly eliminating that which has no place on your soul path. Her actions are powerful and benevolent. She appears fierce yet is benign. Her oracle brings the message that a situation which may frighten or intimidate you is well within your capacity to handle. No matter how dramatic or intense a scenario may appear to be, it shall become little more than a passing memory and shall not have any negative bearing upon your future. So there are things that have happened and it's no biggie. It's literally no biggie. It might still feel like a biggie to you, but I promise you, it's no biggie. Biggie, 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 can't you see? As Dakshina Kali Ma is the portent of a fiery sunset, an ending to a truly frightening and difficult time. Yet this brings a new inner experience of courage, self trust, and a renewed, increasingly empowered personal relationship with the divine. She is the reminder of the dark night that allows for rest and regeneration before the light of sunrise awakens us into a new cycle of experience. So, this dark period that we're in, it's a period where we can restore ourselves with minimal interference. Have you noticed that when you enter into a dark night of the soul, you tend to be very isolated? No one's coming around, no one's calling you, no one's checking on you, and it tends to make things seem more lonely. Change your perception on this. It is not that nobody cares, it's that you are being given a very sacred opportunity to focus on yourself for once. Okay? She arises in a reading to bring comfort and reassurance that you are allowed to receive wonderful blessings. If you have been enduring suffering, not only will she bring it to an end, she will ensure you gain something of tremendous value from the experience to help you avoid greater suffering in the future. To engage the peaceful blessings and psychological renewal that Dakshina Kali bestows, you can make an offering. The term Dakshina means gift, typically the gift you would offer to a healer or spiritual teacher with gratitude for their teachings and blessings. What could anyone possibly offer to a great being such as Kali Ma? Love, affection, prayers, especially those that relate not only to us but to all beings in need. Honor and reverence. Why are these gifts sufficient? Ma is an enlightened divine presence. She has no need for flattery or gifts to elicit her love, grace, and protection. She gives that freely and generously. The offering to her is about what it does for us on a human level. Making a genuine offering opens the heart and puts us in a position to truly receive. To demand from an entitled perspective, locked in ego or blocked in fear, does not open us to her. Even though she pours forth love and healing in great abundance, we are like concrete with the water of her love sliding over us, unable to permeate, restore, and nourish. We need to be tilled soil, open and receptive, capable of taking in her grace. And you know, there's a potentiality that the ways in which you feel destroyed in the past couple weeks, maybe past couple months, and for some of you, the past few years, has been your soul tilling the land, tilling your soil, allowing for you to have aeration so that you can finally begin the process of breathing. And breathing is a precursor to communication. Communication is a basic form of singing. You are being given a new song of creation. It's up to you how loudly you want to sing it and the way in which you want to use that song. You can use this new song of creation to create the same old circumstance that you've been struggling through your entire life. Or you can sing a new song and allow yourself to live in a new way, live in a way where it's in alignment with what you want and what you need. You have that type of authority over yourself. You really, truly do. You have that type of authority over yourself, and it's up to you what you will do. If you use your authority responsibly, you can create the most beautiful of situations for yourself. Situations that don't require or involve the using and mistreatment of others. Okay. You can get ahead in life without needing to compete or compare with someone else. You can get ahead of your insecurities, your fears, your sense of lack of capacity, lack of achievement. That is what I would get ahead of, not other people. So I hope this reading helped whoever needed, clarity for whatever you needed clarity for. And I hope you guys choose to join me for the 1212 portal event. I have that here. To purchase an expedited request, you go to meevolving.com/shop/1212 portal. And then I also have the primer event. Okay. And I will be commenting that here. La la la. Here we go. Right there. That's the primer event. It's going to be on the 10th. It's going to be a very, very powerful fire ceremony, private fire ceremony. I'm recommenting it on YouTube because YouTube cut off the link. So it's right here for the primer event. mevolving.com/shop/1212-portal-primer event. Jesus, Mary and Joseph, that's a long link. But I forgot to change the link. So that's what it's going to be. You guys give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I will see you guys again very, very, very soon. And I love you guys. Bye, everyone.